EGM Network.
Honestly, without Treasure Coast Community Health, I think we'd be a much poorer community in terms of our health. We're always striving to fill the gap for everyone in the community, rich or poor. Good afternoon, and welcome to Community Conversations. As we approach the holiday season, there are a lot of people who are trying to give us messages. Be kind, be generous, be kind. And so today it seemed very appropriate for me to bring on someone who has been both kind and generous and collaborative with a lot of organizations and a lot of individuals around the community. And so if you haven't made your end-of-year donations, since we're moving past Giving Tuesday and moving into the true Christmas spirit, this would be a time for you to pay attention to a possibility. Welcome, Michael Marsh from TCCH Enterprises.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for having me, Ms. Sola.
Your organization has really been working hard over the last couple of years.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're going to talk about a number of what I would call gap fillers,
Yes,
where
ma'am.
you have identified a need in the community, and you and your volunteers, which is most of your, quote, staff.
Yeah, no one gets paid.
No one gets paid, including you,
That's
apparently,
correct.
at times.
As of today, yes.
So we're very happy to have you here. We
you.
understood that at Thanksgiving, you joined forces with some others for Thanksgiving dinners.
Yes, ma'am. First off, it's always a pleasure, Ms. Sola, and thank you for what you do in the community as well as TCCH. Our big bird blessing, you know, we have a way with words here at Team
Yes.
Success. We had a goal of 1,500 meals. And, you know, when I talk about what Thanksgiving was, I always start off with the sheriff saved Thanksgiving. And I say that because in June, we had no idea where we were going to go. We needed a commercial kitchen. Where do you pump out 1,500 meals, right? Well, the state-of-the-art kitchen over at the jail is where you do it. And thanks to Sheriff Flowers and his amazing team, Aramark inside the jail, and the Community Church of Vero, we started on Sunday night, 5:30 p.m., because that's when inmates go back home.
Okay.
All the way to about 1 a.m., and we cooked over 107 turkeys this year.
Wow.
And we were able to feed the Hope for Families Center, the Samaritan Center, Hibiscus Children's Village, both safe space locations, all housing of Treasure Coast Homeless Services Council,
Wow.
and dozens who were in need of a meal, including our homeless camps, thanks to our Methodist Church here in Vero Beach. So
That is awesome.
It was a great big bird blessing, Mrs.
107 turkeys.
Yes, ma'am.
I start sweating when I consider making one and not having it come out dry.
Yes, I don't want to see a turkey for a while, but it was great. And we had so many generous organizations that donated to us. And just to see the joy to tell somebody, hey, we're going to be there at this time with meals. And we had also deliveries out in the community for those seniors and those who are not able to drive. And then Thanksgiving Day, because that's what makes us unique, we do events the day of. We were at the Gifford Historic Museum, thanks to Mrs. Perry over there, and we did a couple hundred meals right there in Gifford.
I saw some pictures,
Yes,
and there
ma'am.
were people there for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, we had
And
dozens
grateful
of
people.
volunteers. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So if someone wanted to join your organization as a volunteer, how would they get a hold of you, Michael?
Sure, they can just call 772-236-7770. We have a great website, teamsuccessenterprises.org, and there's always a place for you. Whether you have an hour a month or you want to come every week and join the chaos or fun.
Fun, yeah.
Come on
it's
down.
Fun. Your volunteers do have a lot of fun in what they do.
Yes.
And people are probably thinking, well, the Thanksgiving dinner is done.
Sure.
So what in the world could I be volunteering for?
Were you gonna
What
come
other
on
things
out?
are going on?
Yes, ma'am. We have our big Caring Christmas cause, and it's our also 7th annual. We started back in 2018, so it's our 7th Christmas.
Wow.
And we got so big with our event that we do now Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And this spills over to multiple counties. But right here in Indian River County, we help those that were affected by the hurricane and those families that, you know, maybe you have a 13-year-old, and a lot of these organizations only do 0 to 12.
Right.
So we're not going to exclude the teenager, right? We want to make sure we take care of that teen. So
Absolutely.
that's what we do for our event. I am Santa Claus, and we bring out Mrs. Claus. And
You got a little beard to grow yet, Michael.
At 41, we almost could grow a beard. You
Okay.
know? But we're going to be wrapping hundreds of gifts.
Okay.
So whether it's I want to wrap a gift, or I want to donate a bike, or I want to get a wish list. That's the biggest thing, is that a lot of these families, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 8, 9 children. And, you know, as great as even let's say you're getting assistance from another organization, it subsidizes, right? You might get 2 or 3. Some of these single moms have next to nothing. And so Christmas is not really in the budget, especially what we just experienced with the storm. So
Absolutely.
that's what we're gearing up for as our next Caring Christmas cause.
And again, would somebody go to your website, or
Yes,
have you
ma'am.
got places planned for example, the Christmas wrapping?
Sure. We usually always go to Unite Against Poverty. We're finalizing dates that will utilize their classrooms. And then we have a couple of our board members that open up their homes. But if they just call up and say, hey, here's my availability, we'll plug them in. Also, we're looking for businesses to be drop-off locations. We have a few of those right now. And also businesses that would sponsor a family as well.
So here's kind of a weird question. I know everyone would love to have brand new, out-of-the-box kinds of things.
Sure.
But if you had a youngster who's now got his driver's license and has a bike he hasn't used but half a dozen times, would that be something that you would still welcome to come in as a gift?
So when it comes to bikes, absolutely. So we do have a reentry program at the Indian River County Jail, and inmates who are being released, bikes is a huge need.
Okay.
You know, so I always pride myself, I could find a home for whatever you have.
Okay.
But yes, for Christmas, we do unwrap the new,
Right.
but bikes is always a huge need for our reentry. We can never have enough bikes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we depend so on the community coach and the Go Line bus, but it doesn't hit every neighborhood as much as they have tried with 14 different interconnected routes.
Sure.
Sometimes a bike is a real blessing
Huge
for
need.
someone.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we've got Thanksgiving covered, Christmas covered.
Yes.
What else do you do in your spare time, Michael?
Well, there's no spare time, ma'am, but I can tell you our newest initiative that I'm very proud to discuss. And back in June, we joined forces with another amazing organization, Treasure Coast Homeless Services Council. And thanks to Treasure Coast, we're able to move these homeless families into permanent housing. And so it's been a huge success. And we're looking always for furniture. So beds, dressers, table and chair. So it's a win-win for everyone, right? You know, these items are going directly to those families in need, those getting out the Hope for Family Center, that domestic violence victim that leaves safe space with a bag in her hand. You know, a lot of times, yes, maybe they can get a furniture voucher from Salvation Army or Habitat for Humanity, but what if they don't have a particular item and someone's getting out tomorrow? So we have the ability with a couple of huge storage units to have our own furniture. So when we know that mom's getting out tomorrow, we have that bed, we have that dresser. So it's been great. And
That's a true blessing.
It really, truly is. And, you know, under Remy's leadership, our visionary leader, Remy, it's been awesome to see the growth at Treasure Coast Homeless. And so whether it's servicing the vets, the domestic violence victims, you know, the families coming out of either one of our family shelters here in Indian River County, it's huge.
Yeah,
you know?
I can't imagine getting out of a shelter and trying to make arrangements, even if someone said, well, I have this, to call a moving company because you don't have those kind of resources in your pocket yet.
And I've worked for a moving company in my past life. Never thought I would do it again, right? But, you know, the average move is anywhere between $400 to $600. That's a one-bedroom little studio, right?
Right.
And so where do you find two men and a box truck? Well, we have multiple box trucks now here at Team Success. And so we're always looking for furniture, and we're looking for more collaborators. So as you're familiar with, Treasure Coast Homeless has their COC, the Continuum of Care. So we're looking for more partners that we can have other organizations that we have an agreement with that we can start moving their families as well. Because this is a win-win. The client pays nothing. The furniture is coming from the community, not to be resold, but into the hands of those that need it the most.
Absolutely.
So we're so happy about this partnership with Treasure Coast Homeless Services Council.
You're doing good work, Michael, I got to say.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
We're going to take a short break for a word from our sponsors, because I know you're not going to run out of steam on the next subject either. And then we'll be right back. Treasure Coast Community Health in-house pharmacies have the lowest prices in Indian River County, even lower than big box pharmacies. Taking your medication as prescribed leads to better health. Affordable medicine makes it easier. Treasure Coast Community Health patients can pick up medicine as they leave the office or use free delivery and mail order services. Pharmacists are always available to answer questions. Switch to TCCH pharmacies. Save money, stay healthy. 772-257-8224 and ask about our price match.
Right now at Sunshine Furniture, it's holiday sale time. You can save up to 50% on selected groups of indoor and outdoor furniture from Lloyd Flanders, Telescope, Windward, Capri, Seawinds, Universal, Lexington, and lots more. Sofas, love seats, dining sets, patio groups, occasional chairs, dining and bedroom sets, all on sale just in time to make Santa say ho, ho, ho. We have the largest selection of coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast, including a gallery of Berlin Garden, Pollywood, Hooker, Tommy Bahama, and Lexington. Also, all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half off. And don't forget to visit our outlet and sales store just across the street from our main location with lots of new closeout and markdown pieces. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in the Publix Plaza Vero Beach. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com. Come in now for our holiday half-price sale.
Sunshine Furniture.
Happy holidays. Let Evergreen Media get your business on everybody's shopping list. Hire Evergreen Media to place advertising on streaming TV, radio, even social media. Contact Evergreen Media at egreenmedia.com.
And welcome back to Community Conversations. I'm here every week, same time every week, and I hope that you understand that we have a whole variety of people that come in and have conversations with us, mostly educational about what's going on in our community, sometimes a pitch for volunteers, sometimes a huge thank you for the work that people have done in this community, sometimes, most often, a combination of both. And today, I guess, is no exception to that. Michael Marsh is here from Team Success Enterprises. And Michael, I'm going to kind of rewind all the things that you've done this year into when did you get started and how did you get started?
Sure. Thank you. And real quick, as far as thank you, I got to also say a big thank you because we can't do what we do without the donors, volunteers, and sponsors. So a big thank you also to our board when I come up with my crazy ideas. But back in 2018, a good friend of mine, Dale Rivers, he made a joke to me and said, why don't you just sit down, do something with the homeless? At that point in my life, I was an activist. And it was kind of the moving from activist to advocate, right? The kind of reforming Michael Marsh, so to speak, right?
Good old Daryl.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Rivers. And I didn't realize our homeless problem here. Such a beautiful Indian River County. I'm like, homeless where?
Exactly.
And you start finding out that there's almost 400 students that identify as homeless. And you have people that are in the woods. And so the first time going out into the woods, which was funny because Daryl Rivers was supposed to come with me, and he got on a call. And so I'm wandering in the woods looking for people. But I'm so thankful I did it because it gave me that spark and that passion and say, I want to do something, but I don't know where to begin. And so I got my start in the woods of, hey, we're going to get McDonald's cheeseburgers and we're going to hand them out. Then we're going to figure out, why are you in the woods, right? Because I don't believe in Band-Aids. I don't believe in the handout. I believe in the hand up. Right. And so we started with an event called the Big Burger Blessing, in which we would do all these burgers to the shelters, just a day that, just make you feel like you're not in the shelter.
Right.
And you would have thought you were giving out Christmas gifts. I walked into these shelters and cheeseburgers, I was getting attacked by the cheese to get these cheeseburgers out there. And I realized, I'm like, this is a need. So I want to help the helpers and I want to uplift the uplifters. And I came up with those little terms of, how do you fill in the gaps to some of these shelters and other organizations? But then I realized as we were starting to get a little bit more organized, you got to kind of stand out a little bit. The duplication of services. I don't want to be what everyone else is already doing.
Right.
So little by little, we started coming up with different programs. And that brings me to our reentry. That was always a goal of mine that, in the state of Florida, once you become a convicted felon, there is no real second chance, right? So whether it's mentoring to the youth or trying to help that guy on his third, fourth time in the jail, combating recidivism is all of our goal.
It is.
It's not just for law enforcement. It's that could be your house that person breaks into, or your family member that just needs to get a job. So I pitched a crazy idea to Sheriff Flowers and his team, and he created a civilian reentry position, which was amazing to me. Because finally now somebody who wasn't there of, why did you do this? Why did you get, it's just someone, how do we get you to never come back here?
Exactly.
And as a percentage, with the 56 inmates now, only 3 have returned. 1 because they couldn't afford probation, 1 because someone's just going to get back into trouble, and another one who just left the county and then got in trouble in that county. So That's pretty good.
So you quoted 56. There's a lot of people that are getting discharged from jail. So
Correct.
How do you count that
just
What is that
for-
population?
Yep. So just for what Team Success has done. So if we had a hand in getting them a job or getting them housing, those are just our numbers. But yes, there's so many. And the goal is,
that's awesome.
Once we can tap into funding, we want to have, there's so many requests that come into reentry, whether it's a blessing bag, I just need hygiene, or can you get me a bike, or hey, will you just come talk to me? You know, we have one inmate right now that's not even sentenced, but because of Captain Jones, who does amazing work at the jail, there's goats at the jail. A lot of people may not know that. Yeah, we have goats. We leave it up to Captain Jones. Maybe a giraffe is coming. Who knows?
I heard they had a baby cow.
Yes, we got the baby calf, and we actually received a grant from Home Depot to build out the farm, $20,000. So we were able to help the sheriff's
Thank you,
department.
Home Depot.
Yes, that was huge. We did that mid this year, and so. But those are the type of programs. Like these are human beings, and sometimes they're in there for just driving while license suspended. Things that maybe some of us have done, but just didn't get caught. And a lot of times it's just connect me to that job opportunity, or just doing case management.
Yep.
And you have an amazing team that's inside the jail. You know, we're to the point now, we almost got to a science, Ms. Vicki, that between the TCCH, the medical part, to us coming in doing non-medical case management, that if you want that second chance and to do right and
we're going to try to help you.
You're going to.
Yep.
I mean, you have everything at your fingertips. You could put a request in, and then you're getting pulled out of the cell. And here's Michael. He's going to help you. We're going to figure out where you're going to work, where you're going to live, and your support system. And if you don't have one, now you do.
But, you make it sound very, very wonderful, honestly, for those that have been in jail and are now getting out.
Yeah.
But there's some old-fashioned folks, I'm sure, that are saying, so they did a bad thing and you're rewarding them with all this good stuff. What about the people that have struggled and aren't in jail? Can they contact you? Can they get the assistance that they need? Because as a family, I can't figure it out. I can't figure out how to help this son, nephew, neighbor.
Sure. And what we do with our partnership with Unite Against Poverty, and that's where our office is, we send them to Wendy, who does that crisis visit.
Okay.
But by all means, if they're looking for a job and they want to contact us, a prerequisite is not necessarily you have to be in jail, but for our program, we get those inmates that are 90 days from release.
Right.
But I will help everyone and anyone, and that's what it's about. And especially with jobs, we have to have more second chance employers.
Yes.
And thankfully, there's a few that I make one phone call. These people have jobs before they get released. Sometimes they get interviewed while they're in jail.
That is awesome. 'Cause
And-
you're right. I mean, without money coming in, what do you do?
Correct.
Basic necessities, food, roof over your head. Even without the roof over your head, you still have to eat. And, we don't want to see panhandlers in paradise.
No.
So
Yeah.
that
And
means
transportation.
And transportation.
A lot of these guys, when they were on drugs, they don't know where their ID card. Right now, if I was to say, where's your social security card? Where's your driver's license? You know exactly where that is.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Exactly. But for that person who's incarcerated, they don't have their ID and social, they're not getting a job.
Yeah, maybe they got picked up while they were drunk, and the last they remember they had a wallet with those things.
So we want to be barrier blockers to these people. You don't have your ID card, let's figure it out. And I think that transportation piece, we're going to work on, and we're going to fix that too. Because you could spend a whole day getting your ID card and social. And we're thankful for the transportation we have here. But I think we could do more, and I believe we are going to do more very soon.
The idea of working with individuals who've been incarcerated, although you paint a glowing picture, and I recognize, too, that not everybody that ends up in jail is a convicted murderer.
Sure.
Okay, a lot of them are just, they've done dumb things and gotten caught at it. But it makes people nervous.
Sure.
So they don't have to volunteer to go into the jail. And in fact, aren't there stipulations that they have to have a background check before they can go in as a volunteer?
Yes, correct.
Even as part of your team?
Yes, and right now there's nobody else going inside the jail except for myself. Okay. And I'm very strict about that because here's the thing. You also have to bring someone with some type of lived experience. It's kind of like when you tell little Timmy, don't get in trouble. But it's a whole nother thing to say, let me tell you what happened to me. And I was that rambunctious teen. I know what it was like getting into trouble. And so I think that it has to be a healthy mesh of a person who's going to say why you shouldn't do it, but then to tell you that lived experience of, here's what happened to me. Because it's a lot different. When I worked at a rehab, I wasn't able to relate and say, oh, I've done this. I'm like, I don't know what you're feeling.
Right.
And so coming from someone who can say, I've been there before, and don't give me no excuse, because no for me meant my next opportunity. So no, they do not. There's so many opportunities with Team Success. You don't have to go hang out at the jail.
And you don't have to lift furniture.
And you don't have to lift furniture. But if you do want to lift furniture, we are probably
by all means, right?
hiring a part-timer very soon. But there's plenty of different things, from helping us with our website to just getting the word out. Maybe hosting at your business of, do you know about Team Success? I mean, for 6 years, I'm very proud of this. Not one paycheck. And I was seeing the new year, you got to keep the lights on, and I look forward to being a paid executive director. But what we set out for was kind of be the reciprocal of 80% to salaries, 80% needs to go right back in that program, and 20% to keep the lights on. And you got to keep the lights on. Just insurance alone, I could spend 10 minutes of what thousands of dollars that costs.
Yeah. Moving trucks.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? Thanks to our sponsors. I mean, we literally had someone who said, hey, I know the owner of this place. You need a box truck? Go see him. And within 3 days, another person, oh, do you know this bank? They'll do the financing. And so I'm so grateful. And this is what it's about. You're making those relationships. And so we're always looking for that. Maybe someone, like you said, year end wants to write a $100 check. For us, that's huge.
It sure is.
We don't care if it's $10, being a monthly donor. I mean, we have so many expenses with insurance and everything else. You want to be a $10 monthly donor? We would love to learn. Give us a call. We'll tell you more.
That sounds really good. So what have you got planned for 25?
2025 is going to be the, not rebranding, but restructuring of
Okay.
Team Success. And, kicking and screaming when I was told, you got to come off the board. There has to be an executive director at Team Success. I'm like, wait, I lose my voting power and lose my baby? But so it's going to be forming a finance committee. Okay. It's going back, having someone who enjoys bylaws. Those things that no one wakes up and says, I want to do bylaws.
Yeah,
Isn't that very interesting? The 38 pages here. Yeah. So in 25, it's going to be the restructuring of Team Success. And we have some amazing new board members that's going to start, amazing board members that's going to continue on. And just my goal in 25, I want MOUs. That's what I want. I want more MOUs with those organizations because, maybe you're not in the business of transportation. Team Success is. And let's figure out how we can work together.
And through that, you will then be able to apply for grants and other ways of spreading the wealth.
We have
so
our
to speak.
first financial review next month. I'm scared and looking forward at the same time. We'll find out if I've been doing good for these last few years, but it's always a pleasure to talk about our charity. So thank you, Mrs. Sola.
Well, you're very welcome, and I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Thank you.
I don't talk to anyone who doesn't say, man, that Michael got a lot of energy. So if people wanted to join you as a volunteer, they could learn about the organization. If they have prior board experience that they think would help with some input, you don't have a cap on your number of board members yet, I presume.
Not yet, and there's always room on the committees. We just form new committees, so there's plenty of room for you.
Okay. Are you doing a fundraiser? I hate to say those words.
Yes, we are. It is Giving Tuesday. We are looking at getting a bigger van, so we are fundraising for that. So in a perfect world, if one of those pretty foundations just wanted to buy us a van, that would be great. A nice Ford Transit, 350, 250, we'll take anything. But yes, we're always fundraising.
Okay.
Looking for monthly donors.
Sounds really good. And I'm so glad you came on board.
Thank you, likewise.
It's certainly a perfect time of year for you to be here. So,
yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here to the very end. I appreciate that. I hope that you spread the word that we have the most interesting guests. They tell us about things that we would not otherwise know about. Recidivism at the jail, goats and calves at the jail. I mean, who does that? So again, come on back next week and we'll have someone else to swap stories with. And have a great evening. Bye-bye now.